get a fast car.
Hello. Welcome back. For those familiar with the channel, you know we're going to start with warming up our shutter button, which this time I've conveniently displayed with a little temperature animation over on the bottom left. So yes, watch as the temperature goes up, and as we hit the top of that temperature, we're going to get the very first photo of the day that I actually like. So this is all just practice. This is like life. You just have to start, you have to get out there, you have to do some things, and then things happen. It's about showing up, guys. It's about showing up, and step 2, you press the button. And then you know what happens? You take some photos. That's step 3. And then step 4 is question marks, and then step 5 is profit. So I'll let you know when I get to step 5. So, guy looking at his phone. Technology billboards in the background. Might be cool in like another 2 decades. But right now, along this strip, so I started up at Tokyo Plaza, and it is hot. I saw these guys, cool guy on his phone. Again, just like guys on their phones. It's like the whole thing. But yeah, I was just zigging and zagging down this big street, and it is like being an ant under a magnifying glass. It is so hot out there, and you can see I've got like 3 shadows everywhere I go. I've got 3 shadows, and people are covering themselves from the sun, because it's like there's the sun, then there's all the reflections from the buildings, and there's buildings on either side of the street, and it's full on. It's quite hot. These guys just had a little fruit cup, so one was like picking food out of their teeth, the other one's like licking food out of their teeth. I thought that was pretty funny. Cool guy with his little poster thing. Anything around a zebra crossing, and there's like someone with like something that's like sort of looks like something that's white and in a stripe formation, you've got to take that. That's a trigger. You got to press the button. People shading themselves from the sun, I guess that's a trigger for me now. You press the button. Look at that temperature gauge on the bottom left though. We're building up. More people hiding from the sun. We're building up. We're almost at one of the first photos of the day that I actually like. It's gonna happen. The suspense. Is this a good retention tactic? I don't know. Let's let YouTube tell me. Again, like the Q3 is so fast. I've heard a bunch of shit about how it's slow. It's not. Alright, so I spotted this Ferrari over on the left. It's now behind the truck. And there's like a red witch's hat, like a traffic cone thing. And then I spotted this guy, and he's got a red shirt, he's wearing red shoes, and then if the universe aligns in my favor, we get red Ferrari, red guy on the bike, his kid in the back even has red shoes, and that's my favorite of that little sequence. So everything's basically black and white, apart from this guy, the car, and the red witch's hat. So there's the white guy on the right wearing black and white. Everything he's wearing is black and white. There's a black and white truck. There's a grey van behind. There's a black and white truck in the front. And then everything that's red is like the perfect element for the photo. So I was quite happy with that. And that was like maybe my 2nd or 3rd lap of the day. I think 2nd lap. That was my 2nd lap of the day. Let's say that with confidence. Scooter gal. Again, just like the light here is amazing for just grabbing a subject and information, guys. Car parking guys. And then again, the light, like look at these leading lines that get created with the shadows of the light in these shafts. It's such a good place to shoot. And yeah, just like a million people. So you just wait for things to happen. You follow your triggers. I saw these little balloons on the top of this sign. I thought maybe if I spin around, the universe will give me something. It didn't. Now these little postie bikes, they're like Lego. It's like from a Lego set or something. I love them. Really want to get one myself for back home. I could ride it to the shops or something. I don't know. Then I walked up Takashita Street. There's like little gaps of light on the way up. The rest is pretty shaded, so I didn't really include much from here. Cool school kids hanging out with the homies. I don't know what they were doing, but crushing it. Girl in red that looked like the red stop sign for the crossing. Adidas pants and a zebra crossing. Always gotta shoot that. Again, where the light and the shadow separates the subject from the background. I love that stuff. Lost tourist photo, boring. So then I walked all the way up to the main entrance of the Harajuku station so that I could walk with the sun behind me. And there was this like pink couple. I was hoping that something cool would come my way that was pink, but ended up just getting more zebra crossing sort of trigger stuff. Then yeah, again, and like you can see my shadow in the majority of this, so you can see like how much I'm not stopping to compose. I'm not like, these photos are crisp. The file sizes are enormous. I could blow all of them up to like a poster, apart from some of them are a bit soft, but like 95% of them, like, I don't know what this talk about the autofocus not being good on a Q3 is all about. So hopefully, if you're thinking about buying one, this maybe gives you a little bit of confidence, because I don't walk slow and people don't move slowly typically. And the way I shoot, I love that little moment, just like, I don't know, it's really sweet between those two. I don't know if they're just friends or a couple or what, but yeah. And again, like, I'm not slowing down to take these photos. I'm just part of the street. And like, I just had 2 months over in Europe. I never got called out on taking photos once. So all these like YouTubers that are like, oh, anxiety about taking photos and street photography is scary. Like, there's a little bit of that, but it's also just like, I don't know. Do you feel comfortable in what you're doing? Are you jumping in front of people and flashing them? Like, the sort of photos I take are very non-intrusive. I'm there, I'm gone. Review later. It's pretty rare that I'll actually put the viewfinder up to my eye, but I like having an accurate viewfinder. Like rangefinders, for the photos where I am trying to get something very precise, I hate the guesswork of a rangefinder. Like, for those that know the channel, I shot a Contax G2 forever, and now I'm on to the Canon 7S, which is a much cheaper, much better version of the Contax G2. And the Leica Q3, maybe I buy a Leica M11P. Maybe I find out what a rangefinder Leica is all about. But for the moment, Leica Q3. If I'm not shooting film, this is the camera. I like this, how her shoe and her leg sort of disappear and create the same lines of the pavement there. loosen up. Do I go back? I was sort of losing light at this point. You can see how long the shadows are already. I totally missed, because of this cart guy, I missed this guy in the wooden sandals, but I come back to him. He doesn't go away. So all of this time, I should put a timer up. I like this umbrella. I really like that photo. Bit abstract. And again, it's just like finding these patches of light before people disappear into shadow, or as they emerge out of shadow into light. Like the way you can differentiate someone from the background with streaks of light like that. So I saw this guy with the flowers in his bag, and I thought he'd walk up the street. He didn't. He started going down into this little shop. A little photo, got my shadow in there as a bit of a layer. And then I like that little shadow layer and the person standing down the bottom. I thought this guy on the right was about to walk down. He didn't. So follow him back into the light. And then our sandals man. So I still at this point hadn't even seen the guy at the back. So they're called Guettas, not David Guettas, but they're called Geta. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but doing a bit of a stretch. My shadow is in all of these, again, just like a reflection off a building, because the sun is so sharp. Some stretches. He's got this like little pole thing in his hand. Again, being able to maybe bring some other elements into the frame as they walk past, or like I didn't want to shoot him with the sun in my face, but I thought I'd just see. Again, playing with his shadow a little bit, but no, that wasn't gonna work. So I figured hang out for a bit, maybe he turns around. In the meantime, like it actually gave me some time to figure out my composition for if and when he eventually did turn back around, and got to sort of wait and see what elements were coming into the frame. So we got probably the same guy with his trolley, and then this guy started jumping over the little fence, so I sort of raced over there. Again, so he's got like cowboy boots on, this guy's got the this guy's got the sandal things on. Action replay of the little jump. Yeah, I was like, alright, this guy's got to turn around. But in the meantime, try and get him lining up with the trees and stuff. I like the sort of matching bag straps of that one. And then our fence jumper guy from before comes back around on the other side of the fence. Nothing too interesting though. Just getting all the stretches. I spotted this guy with the backpack, so like, yeah, the stretch and the backpack in the previous photo. And then he turned around, but he immediately sat down, put his bag down. I was like, that's not as interesting. I want to see him standing. So I figured, let's quickly run back here, because you can see the majority of it is in shade. There's just these little shafts of light. So this guy come out, look up. I didn't get him looking all the way up, unfortunately. but no, have a little look around. Saw this umbrella heading back up towards my sandals guy, and the sandals guy was standing again, so all he was doing was getting out a cigarette, or like a little cigar thing. So at this point he definitely knows that I'm taking photos. And then so I got this one and he didn't look happy, so I was a bit, alright, I'll just give him a little wave, a thumbs up, that might be it. But all of a sudden, bang, he puts on the show. He starts letting it all out. So we got some airborne sandal hopping. He's got his crucifix necklace. He was great.
Wow.
But he did unfortunately end up in the shade of that sign. So this one, as amazing as it is, and as airborne as he is, you lose a bit. You get some final poses. Tell him he's very strong. I get a thumbs up. And I was pretty happy with that. But then straight away, another cute little couple moment. Again, maybe in 20 years time, looking at your phone will be interesting. And then again, bang, the siren of white coming out of the shadows. I love that. And then for the evening, we switched over to the old trusty Tiffin Glimmer Glass. So if you haven't seen my video on that, you should go watch it. Quite controversial, it turns out. Putting on a filter that turns your images soft and shit. Turns out people don't like you doing that on a $10,000 camera with the sharpest lens in the world. So who would have thunk it? So these guys had a little bunny, and I asked permission to be like, oh, is it okay if I take a photo? And then just using my phone to like break the ice. And then of course the bunny runs straight out. I got to pat it. So I patted the little bunny, and we all got to have a little bit of a laugh, which was really sweet. And then I was just sort of saying, thank you.
It's so fluffy.
Arigato gozaimasu. And snapped a couple on the way out.
Arigato.
But yeah, there was so many cool people down at the park. Like everyone's just living their lives. This, like, just the trees, I don't know, something just sort of, and then the glimmer glass sort of blowing out the highlights on the tree branch there. Something about it just looked, I don't know, reminded me of like a book cover or like a famous painting. Anyway, Harajuku, Yoyogi Park. There's plenty more Japan coming, and there's still plenty more Europe coming too. So hit subscribe. I've got so many videos to edit, but I'm just sort of getting back into the swing of being back home, back at work. And yeah, if you enjoyed any of that, hit like, hit subscribe, and I greatly appreciate all of it. Thank you very much.